Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And I'm so glad to be here with you this Friday morning, January 6th. And this show, I believe this is episode 181. 181 episodes, folks. We have been putting it out there for over 1 year. And I'm so grateful to see Armin in here today. And Shirley, how are you doing? Jonathan and Steve. Listen, we've got some other folks down in the listening lounge. Tamika, April, Tina, Harold. Oh, and we've got, listen, I want everyone to say good morning in the chat. Tell us where you're from, because this is going to be an exciting show. Also, share the room. Share it out there. If you're watching us online on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, go ahead and share it with your community as well, because today, the Pill Method is going to talk about something we've never talked about before. We're putting out a lot of content. The Pill Method has a book, and we also have a lifetime program that optimizes interest savings to everyone. Oh man, this is exciting stuff. So people are saying, Don, if you have so much content out there, aren't you giving all the sauce away? Aren't you telling us exactly what we need to do for the rest of our lives? Folks, let me share something with you right now, okay? Right now. Would you trust a plumber in your house that got all of their skills from watching YouTube videos? Would you? How about a surgeon? Listen, let's not even go there. Let's not even go there. How about somebody painting your house that only watched videos, but they've never actually painted a house or even a room? But the first time they do something, they want to do it with your house. What do you think? No? I don't think so either. Let me tell you something about the banks. They are expert. They're expert in getting us to rent their money. You see, we think we're borrowing the money, but it's really renting the money, because what we're doing is we're taking their money and we're paying them rent. Yeah, that's the interest. It's rent on the money, but they're expert in getting us to rent it for as long as they can get us to rent it, for as much as they can get. In fact, 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage. And if you do the math, the average family is paying 35 to 39% of their take-home pay on interest alone. That is a lot of money. So listen, let me tell you something. The banks have been doing this for a long time, and we're paying 75% more interest than we need to. I show people all the time how much interest they've already paid on their loans and how much principal they've actually paid down. I mean, I've shown people where they've paid down they've faithfully paid their mortgage for 5 years. 5 years. They've paid their mortgage down for about $15,000 in 5 years. But they paid over $50,000 or $60,000 in interest to get it there in 5 years. That's over $75,000 paid out, but only $15,000 went to pay down the loan. And they were shocked and amazed at that. Folks, the banks have been doing it a long time. And we think we're able to take a pencil and paper and a few videos, even my videos, and beat the bank at their own game? Not even. You won't be able to do it. Listen, we're going to be talking about some things today. So if you want to raise your hand, come up to the stage and ask some questions yourself. Oh, I'd be glad to. But we're going to say good morning to all of you. So good morning to Armin. He's from Palatine, Illinois, from near Chicago. Jonathan Jones, good morning to you, sir, from Douglas, Georgia. Tamika, Orlando, Florida. Shirley Flowers from Texas. And online, we've got Karen watching us on YouTube. Karen, how are you doing this morning? Karen F., she says, good morning from Stonecrest, Georgia. Georgia is showing up today. And, oh my goodness, Ann, watching us also on YouTube from Antelope Valley, California. And Armin is also watching us on, he's here live in Clubhouse, and he's watching us on YouTube as well. And he says, good morning. Good morning to you all. Good morning to you all. Listen, folks, what you need to know about this thing, we've been doing this a long time. And we have some people that are, can I tell you just one little story? One little story before we hear from Dr. Eric Thomas this morning. One little story. People have been doing this thing called borrowing money for a long time. For a long time. And they have been trying to do what they can to do it in a way that is meaningful to them. Meaning, how can we do it so that we can win? And they've been looking for and listening to advice, and that advice has saved them some money. In fact, you can save some money just by watching my videos. In fact, you don't need my program to save money, okay? You don't need my program or our computer system to save money. You can do that on your own. People have been doing it for a long time. You can pay off your mortgage faster without my program, without the computers, without my book, without our education. You can do that too. People have been doing that for a long time. But what you can't do is save the maximum amount of interest that you were supposed to save doing it on your own. The math is too complex. But Don, you just make it seem so simple. You make it seem so simple when you're showing your charts and your graphs and everything. Well, folks, we've simplified a very complicated process. And in fact, people, I have engineers come into my office with their spreadsheets, and they say, I can beat your program with my spreadsheets. I've already got it mapped out. But guess what? They all leave with this program because what their spreadsheets cannot do is optimize their interest savings. Cannot do it. So when they see what we actually have, it's not a spreadsheet, but a dynamic program that is the foundation of that program is artificial intelligence, a program that actually makes decisions and gives advice. A spreadsheet can only take input from you and tell you the results from that input. What are the results from this input? What are the results from that input? But an artificially intelligent program will take a look at all of your finances and then give you directions on how much money to move, what month to move it in, what day of the month to move it on, so that you can save the maximum amount of interest per dollar. One of the people just one person that is notable that has done this is the #1 motivational speaker in the entire world, Dr. Eric Thomas. And as he did this, he did it for one reason. His wife, even though he is who he is and makes the kind of money he makes, she wanted to know, are you going to continue to make that kind of money? He says, well, of course I am. But she was still concerned about the fact that there was a mortgage on their home. I need you to listen to what he says about that right now.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
That's right, folks. She was at rest. If you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, listen, I'm going to pin my link to the top. You need to go to ice10k.com. Let me pin that thing up there. ice10k.com. All right, there we go. And you want to go to that link. And then once you get to that link, find the button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Follow all of the directions. And when you do, you'll be able to find out the month, day, and year you could be debt free. Listen, once you do that, then you also know how much interest you can save. And then we're going to show you how this can be your program for a lifetime. Pay for it once. It's yours for a lifetime. And we have folks on our program that are now paying off their fourth and fifth mortgage, and they've only paid for this once. Oh my goodness. It's the gift that keeps on giving. All right. And so now once you do that, then you will also find out how much interest you saved. When you figure out how much interest you saved, guess what? What if you were an intentional working with our financial coaches? You're intentional about the interest you saved and then says, well, if I save this much interest that I would have had to pay to buy this house or buy this property, what if I invested that money and turned it into generational wealth? For a lot of our clients, even our clients who only work a W-2 job, they don't have a business. They just working their W-2 jobs, no business on the side, nothing like that. They become millionaires just from investing the interest they did not pay to purchase their properties. Oh my goodness. That's what we're talking about today. So let's jump right in. I'm checking right now. Please, folks, go ahead and share the room. I'm going to check to see how many have shared the room already. I'm checking the insights. All right. And, Kelly Russell is here somewhere. All right. Where is she? Did she pop in and then pop out? I think she did. All right. So, folks, what we're going to do is I'm going to give you an example right now of what we're doing. And then I'm going to come back to you and I'm going to share with you how you can do this, how you can help us in our mission. This is going to be a powerful example. All right. Tell a little story here. So I want to go ahead and share my screen with you so that you can see what's going on. Screen 3 is coming up right now. This is our opportunity cost calculator. And I have, there's a young lady here in Huntsville, Alabama. She is a real estate investor. And I'm not going to show her information. I'm going to show a different example. All right, because we guard our clients' privacy fiercely. So here's the thing. We offer coaching with our service. All right, we offer coaching so that you can optimize your savings because there's a whole lot going on with our finances we have been taught to do that is actually not in our best interest. So if you will help me share the room, get more people in here so that they can not only hear what we're talking about, they can see what we're talking about. And if you want to see this example, go to YouTube right now on a secondary device, your computer or your tablet or whatever. And then let me show you what we're talking about. I'm going to change this over. I'm going to put a new example in here. All right. So we're going to reset this program, and I'm going to put in an example that has 10 mortgages in it. All right. Here we go. Multiple properties. So we're going to load multiple properties in, and I'm going to tell you this story. I'm coaching this young lady, and she gives me a call and says, "You know what, Don? I'm going to have to reschedule the coaching." I said, "Well, why is that? Why are you going to reschedule the coaching?" All right. And she says, the reason why I need to reschedule the coaching is this. I'm buying a new car today. I said, "What?" "I'm buying a new car today," she says. And I says, "Well, what do you mean?" Because part of our agreement is if you're going to do anything big, you want to run it through the P.I.L.L method first and to see if we can actually save you more money. She says, "Well, I don't see how you can save me more money. I'm paying cash." So what do you mean? She says, "I'm trading in my car." Now, this was a luxury car she was trading in. All right. And the dealership was going to take it on trade and give her $38,000 towards her new car. All right. And then she was going to write a check for $32,000. Now that's $70,000 out the door, no payments, no interest. And she thought, well, I didn't think I had to share that with you because I wasn't paying any interest, and you're the interest cancellation expert. So if I'm not paying any interest, that's got to be good. And I said, well, yeah, that's good not paying any interest. But guess what? You're not looking at how much interest you can save in other places by doing this a different way or thinking about it a different way. So I said, listen, when are you picking up the car? Now, it's already 9 a.m. All right. I said, when are you picking up the car? And she says, at 11. I said, let me switch some things around. All right. I moved some appointments, called my assistant, had my schedule cleared. And I said, let me meet you at the dealership at 11. Bring your computer. All right. Because all that we do is on the computer. So I asked her, I said, now, the last thing I told her is ask the dealership if they will write you a check for your car. Will they purchase the car instead of giving you a trade-in for the car? All right. So we get there. And then she says, guess what, Don? They will write me a check for the car. So let me show you what happens when you take a certain amount of money in this situation. She has several properties that we are saving her a ton of interest on. So what I did was I said, now we're going to take that situation. Let me see. Interest remaining. All right. So we're going to take that situation and we're going to tell the program you are receiving $38,000 extra that you can put into your checking account. All right. Come on, folks. Keep inviting people in because this is such a good example. You do want to see this. All right. So what we did. When you add extra money in, you just go to the add new action. All right. We're going to deposit that $38,000 check into her checking account virtually. We're going to tell the program we have that $38,000. So we're going to say, okay, this is from the dealership. Okay. I'm typing it in from the dealership, and we're going to put that money in her checking account. All right. And it is, we're going to put down here $38,000. $38,000. Now remember, she has $38,000 of their dollars and $32,000 of her own. Okay, so we got $38,000, and we're putting it in. This isn't exactly her situation, but I'll give you an idea of what's going on. All right, so we're doing this, and then we're going to give it a category. We're just going to call it income. All right. So now we're saving that. And putting it into the program. Once we save that, folks, guess what? The program will tell her what to do with that money. And out of all the mortgages here, we're going to get down here and we're going to, what I did was I didn't put the date in. Let me put the right date in on that. So we're going to open this up. We're going to open this up and put the date that is in the program here. Okay, November. All right, because the program starts out in November. So we're putting that in November, and we're going to save it back to the action plan. All right, so now here's what the program is telling them to do. We got $38,000 going into from the dealership, plus $15,000 from rents coming in from the properties. All right. Then let's scroll down here. So the program says take $32,000 and apply it to mortgage number 9. There are 10 mortgages in here. So the program says apply that to mortgage number 9, $32,000, and then it'll tell you how much interest you save. You won't believe this. Let me execute this, and you will see by putting $32,000 on at this time, how much interest are we saving? Let me blow this up so you can see it. Let me blow this up. $284,115.89 in interest saved on this house. Now, she could have taken that, traded in her car, got $38,000 off the new car, and then write a check for $32,000 and still had to pay interest on her other properties. But what we showed her is if you get the $38,000 from the dealership, put it into the program and let the program direct you, it's going to tell you to put money on on this particular mortgage that's going to save you $284,000 in interest you will never have to pay. So she says, I get my car for free. I get my car for free using the $38,000 they're giving her in a check. And I said, now what you're going to do with that $32,000, you're going to take that $32,000 and put it back into the investment you got it from. And we're going to finance your car for 84 months. You could have knocked her over with a feather. Finance a car for 80? No way. No doggone way am I going to do that. I said, let's put it into the program. Now, in her particular program, she's paying off 6 houses in about 6 years. So by putting that money on a mortgage, she cut off several years off of one of the houses by putting that $38,000 down and putting it on the mortgage, on one of the mortgages. Because of that savings, when we added the car to her program, remember, she was supposed to pay off the houses in 6 years. Now she'll be able to pay off the house and the car in 6.5 years by putting it into the P.I.L.L method program, taking her $32,000 and putting it back into the investment. She did not have to come out of pocket at all on the purchase of the car because we were going to pay for the car with interest savings from the interest she would have had to pay on the houses. What do you all think of that? What do you all think of that? All right? My goodness, I love it. I absolutely love that example. Folks, listen, raise your hand, come to the stage, and find out why we're doing what we're doing. Because the P.I.L.L method is personal. It is individual financial education. We're an educational company. So when you come to the P.I.L.L method, we're going to design a program just for you. This was something that was unique to her. And so when you get the P.I.L.L method program, she was thinking, because she thought she knew from she was even in the program and still didn't know everything she needed to know. Now, here's what she did know. She knew everything we taught her, but she didn't know everything we know. One more time. She knew what we taught her, but she didn't know everything we know yet. It takes time, folks, to unlearn what the banks have been doing to us for a very long time. And here's what we call cognitive dissonance. When you've been doing something for so long and you see credible evidence that another way is better, do you know that causes people to be fearful? It causes people to have anxiety, because even though what they're doing has been inefficient, it's comfortable, and at least they're making some headway. But Don, you're talking about doing something so completely different that it makes us very uncomfortable, even though we can see the numbers. What you're talking about is a better way to go. So this is why with our program, it's not just the technology. You have to have the education that goes along with it so that you can get the best of the technology and we can overcome what you've been taught in the past. You see, there are about 10 variables with every loan. Let me talk to you about why you need a computer to do all of this work for you. We're going to put another example on the screen here. All right. And we're going to put in the number 10 and an exclamation point. That means factorial math. And here's what we're saying. If you have 10 mortgages, even if you only have one mortgage, and you have you have some money that you could put down on the mortgage to save interest. Well, do you put all of the money down? Do you put some of the money down? How do you make a decision on how much to pay and when? Okay, so what we're getting at is critical point analysis. Critical point analysis. What is the least amount of money you could put on your debt to get the largest amount of savings? So computers aren't smart, folks. They're just fast. Let me tell you something. If you have a certain amount of money that you can work with, to find out how much money you're supposed to put on a debt on any given at any given time to save the most amount of interest you can with the money you have available, here's what a computer program has to do. It doesn't understand dollars. It doesn't understand tens of dollars. It only understands pennies. So it takes, of the money you have available, it takes 1 penny and puts it on every day, on every loan, in every month, and then it takes 2 pennies. It does the same thing, and then 3 pennies, and then 4 pennies. It remembers all of these examples, all right, of all the money you have available, compares all the examples of moving every penny you have available at that time, on every loan, on every day, compares all the interest savings, and then says, here's how much money you need to move at any one time. Wow. Here's how much money you need to move. This amount on this day. So when you have to take a look at all of those permutations, that's called factorial math. So what we're going to put in here is 10 and the number and the exclamation point. That is 10 factorial. So if you have 10 variables that you have to consider, you want to be able to consider which ones do we use in what configuration? Which ones do I do first, second, third, fourth, fifth, all the way to 10th? And then that will tell you how much you will get the maximum amount of savings by doing these 10 things in this particular order. Doing it in any other order, you're going to be losing money. So if you have 10 variables, look at this. That means there are 362,000, I'm sorry, 3,628,800 different things you can do. 3,628,800 different ways to look at this. And only one of them is optimum. You see, folks, what we've done is taken a very complicated system and then made it simple, because our program does factorial math in the background and compares all the, this is why we call it an opportunity cost calculator. It takes a look at all the opportunity costs in just a few seconds and then comes up with a particular thing to do with this much money on this day, in this month, on this particular loan, so that you can save the maximum amount of interest per dollar. Oh my goodness. So you can't see that from the outside. Only our clients get the advantage of learning all of these things about math and about money. If you're not doing factorial math, if you're not looking at all of the available permutations, all the available data that you can use to make a decision, then you're going to make the wrong decision, especially if there's over 3 million different decisions you can make. Let me break this down another way so you can understand what I'm talking about. If you had 10 books on a shelf, I'm going to give you a job. I'm going to pay you. Come on, folks, continue to share the room. All right. Continue to bring people in. What we're going to do is give you a job arranging a bookshelf with 10 variables. 10 variables. All right. 10 books. And I need you to arrange that bookshelf and make sure that the bookshelf is arranged in every possible configuration. Okay? If you were to do that, I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do each configuration, and you're going to work 30 hours a week to do that. Did you realize to put that bookshelf put those books on that shelf in every possible configuration, it's 3,628,800 different configurations? Do you realize if I gave you 3 minutes to do each configuration and you work 30 hours a week to do it, it would take you 110 years to arrange that bookshelf the way that I asked you? This is what the program is doing in the background every single day, every single hour of every day, every single minute of every hour of every day. This is what this program is doing in the background, making sure that you're doing the optimal thing at the optimal time. It is the only program in the world designed to do factorial math so that it can help you to get the most out of your finances. This is what we have here for you. So folks said, Don, we have your videos, but my videos don't do factorial math. Don, we have your book, but my book doesn't do factorial math. The book and the videos just tell you, here are the tools you need to be able to do what we're talking about. So let me also bring up some of the benefits of following the program. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's bring that up. I'm putting some examples here of some people who have taken advantage of this, and we're going to show you some of their results. All right. So we're going to open this up and then we're going to move it over to the screen. If you are excited about what we're talking about, here is a situation. All right. Okay. We have a mortgage of $237,167.20. That's what we're dealing with. in the first 14 months, this person paid down their loan by $3,844. But look how much interest they paid to do it. $10,000. Folks, tell me, do you think that $10,000 is too much to pay? Do you think $10,000 is too much to pay down a loan by $3,800? Oh my goodness, we have people coming over to watch this example. If you're new to the room and you want to see these examples on the screen, go to YouTube right now, search P.I.L.L method, and you're able to see it. All right. So Armin says, Armin, what do you have to say today from YouTube? He says, this topic is very timely for me today. How do I convince myself that the P.I.L.L method, although optimally, is significantly better than pencil and paper? You're right, Armin. This it's questions from you and others that inspired this show today. All right. You want to know what we're doing in the background. I can tell you the basics without giving away proprietary information, but I can tell you what the program is doing in the background that a person cannot do with pencil and paper. Can you imagine to make one decision in 1 month, looking at over 3 million different ways of doing something, and then coming up with the one right way to do it? Oh, there is no way. So what we do, the program does it in about 3 seconds to tell you, here's the thing to do and when. It looks at all of those things. Now, what if you didn't know? Now, here's the problem. The problem is we don't know that we have to do all those permutations. We don't know that we have to look at several different ways of doing things. We don't know that if we have a certain amount of money, let's say it's $200 or $2,000 or $15,000, whatever we're working with, what is the right amount of that money to put on which loan, which day, which month to do it in, so that we can save the maximum amount of interest per dollar? We don't know. We're guessing. If we plug it into a computer that is designed to look at all of those options in just a few seconds, and it gives us an answer, now it makes sense, because a computer that is designed to do this, look at all of those situations, compare all of the answers, and in that comparison, this is the one right answer that's going to save you the most amount of money. Oh, wow, wow, wow. All right. Now, here's what Armin is saying. Until I trust the program, I would feel so much better if the output showed me by comparison what the intuitive way result would be. Well, then, Armin, we could do that. But I would have to open up the computer. I would have to show you the algorithms that are doing that. And then this is our proprietary information. So what you can do is compare what we're doing and then search every possible other way to do this on your own. You would have to, and anybody else that's teaching how to save money, and then do your own mathematics and then try to beat our results. That's the way to do this. Asking a company to open up their proprietary information that they're running their business on is not the way to go, because that's not going to happen. But what you want to do is here's the results, and then test the results. Here are the results. Now test the results against every other way that you know possible, and you'll see that these results are better. That's how that's done. All right, folks, so here's what we're doing. So you have in 60 months, in 5 years, here's what we're looking at. This person is going to pay down their mortgage by $17,946.29, but it's going to cost $41,683.51 to do it. That's a lot of interest. So when we take a look at the interest rate, and here's another thing I need to point out, folks. For the longest time, we have trusted our banks. We have trusted the system of borrowing money from the bank. And here is something I point out to potential clients all the time. Okay? You signed a mortgage. That said you're paying 4.375 interest on this loan. But it turns out that they're actually charging you 79% of what you borrowed in interest over the course of the loan. You signed in 28.8 years, you signed a mortgage that says you're going to pay them $161,892 in interest. You signed that to pay off $237,000 in 28 years. We're going to show you how you can pay $63,000 in interest instead. Save $98,000 of those dollars and be done in 10.3 years. Take the money that you would have paid the bank and turn it into $611,000 for your family. 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage because of these numbers. We're going to show you how that. Now, when we give you these results, then try to beat our results. And that's what happens when people come to our office. They can't beat our results. And then they end up with our program. That is the secret sauce. That's the, if there is magic, that's the magic there. Why do people need the program? Why do they need the education? Because we have people who did what the young lady did, and everything they've learned in the past still is in their mind. And she thought because she was driving away without paying any interest at all, she was making the best deal possible for her. She did not realize, it didn't even occur to her to ask the dealership to buy her car, take the proceeds, put it into the program, and let the program save her over $70,000 in interest on one of the houses that she has. So she could take that money and save $70,000, so she wouldn't have to pay $70,000 for the car. Take her money, her $32,000, and put it back into her investment. That's what we're providing people. We're giving them not just the program, but we're giving you the education to understand the way you've been thinking about money is not the most efficient way to think about money. Because when you start studying a science called behavioral economics, we find out, I need you all to look that up, behavioral economics. We find out that human beings are not intuitive economists. We don't come by this information naturally. We think that if we use logic, we can beat the banks at their own game, and we cannot. There you go. Well, that's what we're talking about, folks. That's what we're talking about. And so, folks, so if, Don, what if we get your program? What if we get your program and it turns out that there is a better way? I've discovered that I can do it better and faster than your program. Guess what I will do? I will buy my program back from you. I will go into business with you, and we'll start selling your program instead. In 17 years, no one has been able to beat this program in saving interest. Let me show you something else. Let me show you something else here. Okay? While we're showing this, while we're doing this, we're going to put up another example. And here's another example. We're going to Google P.I.L.L method. going to Google P.I.L.L method. I need you to see this. All right. And if you're online, you're going to see this. All right. So P.I.L.L method. Oh, people are coming over. All right. You scroll down. P.I.L.L method. P.I.L.L method. P.I.L.L method International. That's where we are in Madison, Alabama. P.I.L.L method. P.I.L.L method. P.I.L.L method. P.I.L.L method. P.I.L.L method. All the way down. And once you get to page 2, that's when you start looking at contraception and birth control. On page 2. All right. So our program is more powerful, is more popular than birth control. Listen, folks, here's the other thing when you search P.I.L.L method. Now, there are people out there that I've met along the way in the past 16, 17 years. Guess what I found? That someone says, I found the secret. I understand what you're doing. Out of all the people that we've ever met, they think they're the only one that has figured this thing out. Even though...
I'm not sure I understand.
Oh, be quiet, Siri. Seriously, I'm not sure I understand. Listen, I just showed them something like this. All right, hold on for a second. I just showed them that this is what they've done already. Okay? They have, in 60 months, paid down their loan by $18,000 and paid $37,000 in interest. I just showed them that. But now, once they have a meeting with the P.I.L.L method, now they instantly become smarter and they say, I know what you have done, but they paid 18 grand. They thought they had a 4% interest rate when they really had a 71.87% interest rate. And now they say, I figured out what you're doing, and they can't even figure out what their own bank is doing. Overcharging them by 75%. I don't get that. Do you? So, folks, here's what's happening with this particular situation. To pay off $204,000, the bank's way takes 30 years, and the bank wants $143,000 in interest. We're going to show them how to pay $41,000 instead and do it in 7.5. Before they met the P.I.L.L method, they were satisfied on this track, giving the bank 75% more interest than they needed to. We're going to cut their interest costs by 75% using their current budget. And somehow they think that, because I watched the videos, I figured that out. There's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes. And folks, that's what's going on. When you get the P.I.L.L method, we will guarantee your results. And if you can get better results somewhere else, we will buy the program back. I have it. You'll have it in writing. And in 17 years, no one has been able to meet the challenge. We're very proud of that fact. We're offering something that nobody else in the world has. You can only get it here. All right, so what else are we talking about? Banks have been doing this a long time. We went over that. All right, there are at least 10 variables to consider with every loan. We went over that factorial math. All right, we just Googled P.I.L.L method. All right, we did that. Now, here's the other thing. When you Google P.I.L.L method, okay, and Don Daniel, try to find one negative word about the program. I figured it out after the fact. And it is possible to do this all on your own. There are a lot of smart people on this program. In fact, have you ever heard the term, it's not rocket science? We're here in Huntsville, Alabama. We have at least one rocket scientist on the program. And she hasn't been able to figure it out either. But she's getting fabulous results, loves the results, and she realizes she can't get those results on her own, moving the right amount of money in the right month on the right day of the month. That is what we're talking about. The only way to trust that is to use the program and then find out that, oh, we will keep our promise. If you can beat these results, we'll buy the program back and we'll give it to you in writing. All right. So what else do we have here? Let me see. Oh, do you know what? There are some people, especially in Clubhouse, they have. Let me bring up YouTube. This is a good one. This is a good reason. All right. Let me bring up YouTube here. And we're going to get out of here. Pull this back up. We're going to go to YouTube. All right, here's the YouTube channel. So we're just going to go in general. All right, we're going to go to YouTube. All right, and then we're going to search. We're going to search pay off debt. Okay, pay off debt fast. There we go. Look at this. Look at all of these different people that talk about this. Do you know there are courses out there that teach all sorts of things, real estate? Okay. And right now, if you wanted to get a course on real estate, you'd have to choose between hundreds and even thousands of different courses that are out there teaching basically the same thing. When it comes to interest cancellation and looking at this way of paying off the debt, there's only one. And why aren't other people copying this? Why are other people copying the P.I.L.L method? Because we own the copyright to the P.I.L.L method information, and I own the copyright to all of this stuff. And if somebody wanted to reproduce it and do other videos, they'd have to come and ask for permission. And they haven't done that. That is why there's only one to choose from when it comes to interest cancellation using the P.I.L.L method formula. Only one. So don't choose from a bunch of others that are out here trying to, all they're doing is regurgitating the same information on how to pay off debt. All of it. Same information on how to pay off debt. Look at all these folks. So, they've been out there for years doing it. But guess what? There's only one interest cancellation method in the entire world, and none of these people are talking about interest cancellation. None of them. None of them. So this is the most powerful debt reduction, wealth building, money management system on the entire planet right now. No one else even comes close. And we will guarantee that fact in writing. We're the only company that will guarantee your results. All right. So what else? Listen, do we have any questions out there right now about what it is that we're doing? Do we have any questions? Come up to the stage. Open up your mic. Raise your hand. All right. We'll be glad to talk to you. All right. What else can we talk about? What else do we? Look, I got my notes over here. Let me see. Oh, we are unique. All right. And if you want to you can go to the government website that talks about where you can research proprietary information. All right. So we own the copyright. You can go to the copyright office online, the government copyright office, and then search P.I.L.L method. And you'll see who owns the copyright. You can go to the who owns the P.I.L.L method is a registered trademark. You can go and see who owns that. All right. You can also search the Attorney General here in Alabama and in Salt Lake City, and say, do you have any complaints, or even the Better Business Bureau? Do you have any complaints about the P.I.L.L method? In fact, let's go to my website. Let me show you this. We're going to go to my website, and we're going to scroll down to the bottom here, There's the book. We're going to talk about the book in a minute. And we have a link to the Better Business Bureau. Okay? A link to the Better Business Bureau. We're going to get this out of here. And here's our address. Here's all of our information. And this is going to update this year. We've been in business 17 years. We have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. And we're going to take a look at customer complaints. Take a look at this, folks. In 17 years, customer complaints. How many complaints has this business had? 0 complaints. And we make the same promises to everyone who becomes a client. There is no better program on the planet. And if you find a better one, we'll buy this one back. No complaints in 17 years. There are a lot of good companies out there. A lot of good companies that they get complaints. They resolve their complaints, and that's good. But we have no complaints. And once you get a complaint on Better Business Bureau, did you realize you can't have that removed? Even if it's not factual, you can't get it removed. It's there permanently. We have no complaints in 17 years. How about that? All right. So why? So we come back to the question. Don, if we have the videos and we have your book, let's put the book on the screen. The book, you could go to Amazon, find the book, The P.I.L.L Method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt. It's been a 5-time bestseller. It is the only book on Amazon. Think about it, folks. The amortized loan is 89 years old this year. 89 years old. The amortized 30-year mortgage is 89 years old this year. There's only one book, and you can search it. Just search amortization. Is there a book that helps us to understand it and how to defeat it? How can we beat the bank's amortization? Just find a book out there that explains how amortization works and how you can beat it. There's only one. That should tell you something. There are no other books on the subject anywhere in the Library of Congress. This is the only one. And why isn't it copied? Until this goes to public domain, folks, it cannot be copied. There you go. There's another one. Oh, I just love the idea of sharing this information. And guess what? I need your help. Some of you have seen the light and you want to help us get the message out. You can go to ice10k.com. ice10k.com to help get the message out. You can become an affiliate. Oh my goodness. Then here's what you could do. Become an affiliate for free. Sign up to become an affiliate. Go to ice10k.com. It is the top 2 buttons. Become an affiliate, and then you can refer people. How do you do that? What is the best way? We've got all the content up. Just find someone who is interested in paying off all of their debt in 7 to 9 years. Mortgages, student loans, credit cards. They're tired of the way they've been doing it, and you know of a better way. Okay? Send them to the YouTube channel, but follow up with them within 48 hours. No later than 48 hours, because people's interest goes, we found out that the interest goes way down after 48 hours. Okay? So follow up with them. And if they want to know more information, then fill out the second button. That is the referral card, and put your name in as the referring agent. Send that to us. We will contact that individual. And when they become a client, we will send you $300. How about that? Oh, we have a balloon in the house. Miss Ashley, congratulations and happy Clubhouse anniversary. Ashley Russell came in. So let me take a look at your, okay, I see. You love to speak. All right. All right. She loves truth. I love it. I love it. All right. And she is in the short-term rental business. So folks, check out Miss Ashley. Check out her Airbnb. Find out where it is. And she's in the short-term rental business, and she's been on Clubhouse for over a year. All right. Happy Clubhouse anniversary. All right, folks. What else are we talking about today? I'm glad we got this recorded so you can see the whole thing today. All right. We're only going to, if you have any questions, raise your hand, come up to the stage. Shirley, didn't I just see you last night? I did a room last night for somebody else, and I believe Shirley was there. And I've been talking to Armin on and off. He has great questions. All right. Let me see. Here's the thing. All right, folks. I've got another note here. You can't assume. I'll tell you one more time. You can't assume you're the only one that has ever figured this out. We've been doing this a long time. We've been helping a lot of people, and we want to make sure it's done right. Since I'm responsible, this information was given to me. Listen, I say given to me, and I mean it this way. I am autistic, and sometimes because of my autism, my words get jumbled up, but that's okay. We were working on being able to speak clearly and succinctly and getting a message out powerfully. So also, when I look at an amortization schedule, I see the pictures and the patterns of that schedule, and we're able to share with you what is really going on behind the scenes. So when we break this down a certain way, then we're able to save a maximum amount of interest. It's called critical point analysis. Now, it's not about putting a lot of money on the debt. It's about taking your budget. All right. Let me break down what we're doing for you here. All right. When you take a look at your budget, here's how it breaks down. Number one, you should have in your budget your lifestyle budget. That should be number one. How you want to live life. How you want to make memories for your family. Put that at the top of the list, not at the bottom. Every other program on the planet says steal money from your lifestyle to pay off your debt. At the P.I.L.L method, we want you to have a great lifestyle, so put it first. How much money do you want to spend on your lifestyle each month? Plug it in, make it a budget item. The next thing on your budget then is, are you saving enough money for retirement? All right. There are a lot of experts out there that can help you with saving money for retirement. We have a few on our staff. OK, and it's part of the program. All right. And number three, you want to make sure you're making at least minimum payments on your debt. You got to do that. You got to make the minimum payments on the debt. And then number four, here it is. Make sure you're paying the rest of the bills in the month. Track it. How much are your bills? How much money's coming in? Pay all your bills. Then, if you do that, it will be easy to see how much money is left over. Then, what the P.I.L.L method does, it takes the money that's left over and says, you need to put that money in the bank, put it in your savings account. When that money reaches a certain point in savings for an individual, family, or a business, the program will be triggered and says, take X amount of dollars to the penny out of the savings account and apply it to the debt in this month, on this day of the month, all right, on this particular loan, and then we'll figure out for you how much interest you can save per dollar. Moving, and it's the least amount of money you can move, not the most. So you want to, when you're trying to figure out what is the term? Critical point analysis. Critical point analysis. What is the least amount of effort you can put into something to get the greatest return on your effort. All right. So if you're working, you want to find a way. How can I work the most efficient way possible so I can conserve energy and I can get the most work done by conserving the most energy? Not doing the most to get the most. You want to do the least to get the most. So that's what optimization is all about. That's what all engineers are trained to do. How do we take the least to get the most? I met an engineer who's now a builder, and this is what he told me. He said, Don, in all of our plans, I sat down to lunch with him. In all of our plans, guess what? I know how many nails. What? I know how many nails are in each plan. Ho, 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 ho! Listen, when they start building a house, they know how many nails to order for each plan. So I asked the question. So are you telling me that if you put 50% more nails in your plan, are you telling me your house won't be stronger? He says, no. Actually, if you put more nails in, it actually weakens the structure. We know how many nails go in. We know how much, we know how many board feet. We know how many 2x4s. We know everything, and we order what we need to build this house, to make it as strong as it can and to cut down on waste. He knows how many nails. Isn't that something? So folks, when it comes to getting out of debt, you want to know what is the right amount to put on your debt on any given day in any given month so that you can save the most amount of interest per dollar. Let's just say you figured out the right move is that you're supposed to save $7 in interest for every dollar you place on principal. $7 in interest for every dollar you place on principal. If you put more money than you should, the amount of interest that you could save per dollar actually goes down by putting more on when you don't need to. And our program does the math so that it stops you at a particular amount of money to put on, and it tells you to the penny. Let me go back to the program and we can show you that. All right. So back to the program. We're going to bring up John and Rebecca Jones. We're going to pull up their information. We're going to go back to something a little more simple that doesn't have 10 mortgages in it. This one only has, go ahead, folks, continue to share. Let me see if there are any other comments in here. So Shirley says, while we're bringing that up, Shirley says, yes, she was in there last night and it was great information. Tamika says, is it a lifelong program once you join or once the debt-free program is over for you? That is a very good question. Once you join, it is for your lifetime. Lifetime means lifetime. All right. So we have a couple, and if you watch one of our videos, we have a couple that came on the program in 2008. And in 6.5 years, they paid off their first mortgage. And in 7.5 years, paid off their student loans. Now, both these kids went to private school. Their student loans were enormous. They paid off their mortgage and their student loans in 7.5 years on this program. This year, they're going to be paying off their fourth mortgage this year. And they bought the program back in 2008. It's theirs for a lifetime. And every time they pay off a house, guess what? They put a renter in that house and buy another one. Oh my gosh. I am so proud of these folks. Okay. That's what they're doing. So Tamika, I hope that answers your question. Folks, continue to share the room and invite some other folks in. Raise your hand if you have a question or put it in the chat. I'll try to get there as often as I can to answer the questions for you. All right. So let me see here. I'm not seeing anything else in online, but we have a few people watching us online. We have a few people watching us here in Clubhouse. Let's go ahead. And if you want to see these examples, go to YouTube on a secondary device and you can see what we're putting up on the screen. So we're going to, let me see here. We're going to reset the account. Okay, reset the account. And we're going to do a little math. So pull out your calculators, folks. Pull out your calculators. We're going to do a little math today. And we're going to put in this one and we're going to reset everything. And I want to show you how powerful this is. All right. There you go. All right. Oh, and Armin, I read your comment there. All right. And based on what you're asking, you would have to have a sheet that would compare over 3 million different permutations daily to do the comparison that you're asking for. We just don't provide that. We don't. Because to tell you the truth, Armin, there are a lot of smart people out there like you that are software engineers that if we gave that much information out, they would write a competing program and said they could do what the P.I.L.L method is doing. We can only share so much info. Okay? I'm doing the best I can here without giving trade secrets away. We never give away trade secrets. We can tell you the basics of what we're doing, but we can't give away trade secrets. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to, it's the years to pay off here. Now, with what John and Rebecca Jones are doing, they're going to be saving $179,432 in interest on the loans that they have, and therefore they're going to be able to pay off in 7.7 years. Let's take a look at the loans that we're dealing with here. So here are their accounts. They have $500 in checking. They have $5,000 in savings. And then here are their loans. They have a $25,000 auto loan at 4%. They have a Visa at 21%. They owe $2,000 on it, and they have a $200,000 mortgage at 6%. So here's what the program is doing. It's telling them, pay your bills. Tell the program that you paid the bills, and here's how easy it is. John gets paid on 11/1, $950. He clicks on execute. He tells the program that he paid his $950, all right? And that he got paid, rather, that it was deposited in his bank. And then we have a virtual bank account. And so now the program knows that John and Rebecca have $1,450 in their in their checking account in which to pay bills. All right. And so now they have enough money to pay the mortgage, pay the utilities. Rebecca gets a paycheck here on the 5th. And here the program says, here's some arrows. It says, out of all the bills you have to pay for the rest of the month, we already know that you have $100 in your checking account you don't need for anything else. Go ahead and put that $100.90 in your savings account right now and just hold on to it. By doing that, by checking out how much money you have to spend and how much money you're making, the program can say, put the excess money in your savings account and hold it there. So John Rebecca Jones says, well, it's already November. When will the program be ready to put money on the debt? So if we take a look at this, the program is saying by January 7th, you should have $3,120 in your savings account that you can apply to debt. Now, let me show you. We're going to scroll down to January 7th and take a look. The first thing that the program says, pay off the Visa. Take money out of savings and pay off the Visa. Once we pay the Visa off, then it says, out of all the money you have in savings, take only $1,116.98 and place it on the mortgage. It stops at the 98 cents. Okay? Now, for you to understand what's going on here, let me show you. We're going to keep this. We're going to put a pin in this, and I'm going to bring up an amortization schedule. Okay? So we have a $400,000 mortgage at 6%. We're putting it on here. Watch this. All right? And the payment is $2,398.20. I'm going to show you two different. Let me see here. Let me make this. All right, this is good enough. All right. If we prepay, this is cumulative principal. Say cumulative principal and cumulative interest. We're looking at column 3 and column 4. If you pay the mortgage just like the bank wants you to, you're going to pay this loan down by $4,900, but you got to pay the bank $23,000 in interest to do it if you make monthly payments. But if you could give the bank this much money up front, you wouldn't have to give them all of this interest. Does that make sense to you? So let's just say you have plenty of money in the bank, plenty of money in the bank. Why I want to show you something. I'm going to give you just two options. There are millions of options here between how much. If you have plenty of money in the bank, you could apply $100 or $50 or $5,000 to the principal. So there are millions of different ideas on how much money, because you can put $100 and $100.27. All right. And so how many different ways can you apply money to principal? They're endless. So when the program knows how much money you actually have to work with, it takes a look at all the money that you have, and it says, out of all the money you have, only put this much on the principal at this date, and you'll save the most in interest. Watch this. Okay? All right. Since this is daily, how much time would it take to do this? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm not quite understanding your question, Amita. Amenta, rather. I'm not quite understood. But if what you're asking, since this is daily, how much time? If you're talking about how much time it takes to update the program, about 20 minutes a month. 20 minutes a month invested in updating the program to save hundreds of thousands of dollars in interest, because the program does most of the work. It just needs to know how much money you're making and how much money you're spending, and then it tells you what to do. Okay? I hope that's what you're asking. All right. So, and if I don't have it wrong, go ahead and take another run at it and give me another, because this is from this is a young lady that is putting a comment in from YouTube. So if I got it wrong, go ahead and give us take another run at the question, and I'll see if I can give you another answer. So let's just say, all right, let's just say that we could prepay that. We got plenty of money in the bank. Or I'm going to give you line 24. You can prepay line 12 and knock out 12 payments you never have to make. Or you can prepay $10,127 and knock out 24 payments you wouldn't have to make, and the interest there is. And the interest there. Ms. Mickle says, how much time would I need to be at the computer? Yes. Good. I'm glad I figured. Yes. About 20 minutes a month total, once you learn the program, because our staff will actually teach you how to use the computer. We use Zoom, and we use GoToMeeting to help teach our new clients how to use the program. So yeah, you're going to put a lot more time in the beginning, but when you meet with your coach for the third time, most people have it down by the time you meet with your coach the third time. Okay? And you meet with them either weekly or bi-weekly, depending on your schedule. All right? So by the time you meet with them the third time, you'll have it down. All right, watch this. Okay. So what we're going to do is put a calculator on the screen. There we go. There it is. And we're going to take the 23,000, watch this, the $23,866.38 and divide it by the 49,1202. Divide it by 49,1202. And here's what we get. $4.858 or $4.86. So for every dollar at this point, we are saving $4.86 per dollar. All right. Now, you want to get the most savings per dollar you can. You want your dollar to do the most work it can when it's saving interest. Okay. Watch this. Watch this. So if I put $10,000 down out of my savings, I can knock out $47,000 worth of interest all at one time. That looks like it's better. Let's see. So remember, we're at $4.86. And so we're going to put in now 47,000 in interest savings. 429.80. All right. And then we're going to divide it by 10,127. All right. 10,127 equals what? 4.68. We were saving 4.87 before. Now we're at 4.68. So listen, if you can save $4.87 per dollar, should you accept $4.68 per dollar in interest savings? You see, folks, it matters how much you put on the debt and when. You want to put the least amount down that's going to give you the greatest interest savings, and then you're set up for the next move. And then, what is the word? Exponentially, you'll get your savings will increase and increase and increase because you're doing the right thing at the right time. You're not losing by putting too much on at the wrong time. Let's go back to the program and see if this works out. So John and Rebecca Jones found out that by putting $1,116.98 on their mortgage, let's make this a little bit bigger. Oh, made it smaller, bigger. All right, here it is. $1,116.98, stopping at the 98 cents. You know, we could have easily round this up to $1. Easily round that up to $1. Or we can easily round this up to $1,200. Okay? So folks, if we do that, let's see what would happen to our $5,000. So we're going to save $5,435.91 in interest if we do that. Okay? Here's the thing. When people put money on the debt, they have no idea how much interest they're saving, and they're unaware of the metric. They're unaware that it is important to save the most amount of interest per dollar. Our program breaks that down. It's one of the many things that we compare, so the program can tell you this is the best result you can get with the money you have available in a short period of time. So let's put our calculator on the screen. Here's our interest savings. Let's clear this out. Interest savings, $5,435.91. We're going to divide it by how much we're going to put on principal. Now, these folks have over $5,000 in savings right now, but the program says only put $1,116.98 on the debt. So we're going to divide it by $1,116.98. And we get 4.866 or $4.87. $4.87. per dollar. So folks, how powerful is that? How powerful is that you know right now that you can save $4.87 per dollar when you put that money on? That is powerful. So that means if you gave me $1 and I gave you back $4.87, how many times would you do that? Do you realize the bank has to do the same thing? Every time you give them $1 at this point, it makes it impossible for them to charge you $4.87 in interest. That is a fantastic return on your money. Now, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at another way. Remember, John and Rebecca Jones have more money in their bank. They could easily put on, well, shoot, let's just take it all the way to $2,000. They could easily put on $2,000 because they have that much money. Watch what happens when the program recalculates. Right now, they put on $2,000. They can knock off more payments and save $9,610.37. Does this look better to you? That they can save $9,600. But remember, the program is all about optimizing interest savings, doing everything with the right amount at the right time. We've looked at all the money. The program is looking at all the money John and Rebecca Jones have available at this particular time. It's waited just long enough to gather up the right amount of money, looking at the mortgage, not waiting too long, but waiting the right amount of time. Because now you have time involved and you have math. Because of daily interest cost, the longer you wait, the more expensive the loan becomes. But the longer you wait, you can have more money available. And there is, for each client and each business, there is a nexus of waiting the right amount of time to get the right amount of money. And at this point, where they come together, this is the right amount per dollar, to the penny, on how much money to put on the debt so you can save the maximum amount of interest. So doing any more than that, you are breaking the law of diminished return. So watch this. So we're going to put in now $9,000 worth of interest savings, $9,610.37. All right? And we're going to divide it by $2,000. Divide it by 2,000. And now, we're only saving $4.80 per dollar. $4.80 per dollar. That's what we're doing. I need you to see what happens when we do what we just said in the program. This is what the program says. Let's take this out. Let's keep this in. Right now, John and Rebecca Jones, if they follow the program, they're going to save a total of $179,432 in interest saved. We've already calculated that. But here's what they don't know. The program is going to pick up some dollars along the way. That's going to be our next example. Keep this in mind. Gathering up the fragments. Gathering up the fragments that nothing be lost. Keep that in mind as I show you this. Okay? So now we're going to take a look at, I'm going to put $2,000 on, and I'm not going to wait till the 7th of the month. I'm going to do it on the 1st of the month because I'm going to send it in with my payment. I'm sending more and I'm sending it in sooner. It should give me a better result than saving $4.87 per dollar. So watch this when we put this on. Watch what happens to our $179,432. Okay, and we're going to tell the program I'm going to do this. Oh, I haven't changed the date. Let's do it at the 1st of the month. Boom, 1st of the month. There it is. All right. So now we're going to pay it sooner, and we're going to pay more. Watch the last three numbers, the 432. What happens? 179,432. And we're at 179,352. We're saving less interest overall because we paid the wrong amount of money at the wrong time. And folks, how many times do you have available to you to put your extra money that you saved up on the debt? And how many different configurations of your money can you place on the debt? How many days do you have available? How many months do you have available? And every time you don't put the right amount at the right time on the right loan, you're losing interest until it mounts up to be several $1,000s in losses. Wow. That's what the program is doing. That is what you can't do on your own. So by mounting up those losses, let me show you. I'm going to reset the program, and I'm going to show you one more thing here. We're going to reset the program and show you another thing. When you mount up those losses, it's going to be more, several times more than the cost of the program. You can do this on your own. You don't need a computer. You don't need the P.I.L.L method. You can place money on debt on your own. But if you don't have a way to track it, here's what I say in my book. You can't optimize what you can't measure. If you can't measure your interest savings, and the program measures your interest savings, Armin, if you can't measure your interest savings, then how can you optimize it and look at how to do the next best thing? Because you don't know what your results are from all the money that you have available. Our program does the math and knows what the results are, compares the results, and says, here's the best thing to do. There you are. There you have it. That's what we do. Now, let's take a look at something else called gathering up the fragments. I want to show you something that, another thing that the program does, gathering up the fragments. And then I think we may have time for one last example today. How the program beats the debt snowball. Okay, we may have a chance to do that. All right, so watch this. So remember how in our program, we're going to put in your monthly bills, and we're going to put in the averages. So they're averaging, John and Rebecca Jones are averaging paying $200 a month on their utilities, and we're going to save $179,432. So what if their results, what if their bill is not $200 this month? We had a few mild days here in Huntsville just recently. And so now it's $150 instead. The program says, now you have $50 that you were supposed to spend on debt, but on paying a bill, but you didn't. So what the program says, every time you're under budget, whether it's $4.62, whether it's $50, we're going to take that money that you were supposed to spend, that you didn't spend, and we're going to put it on interest savings for you and tell you, put it in savings, and then we're going to recalculate your interest savings every single time you're under budget, whether it's by a penny or by $1,000. Anytime you're under budget, we're going to show you how much interest you can save with that amount of money. So now we're going to execute the fact that we have paid $150. Watch your $179,432. And we're going to execute that. $179,432. That amount of money takes us to $460 in interest savings. Folks, people don't know how much money they can save in interest with just small amounts of money that are left over from their budget. By the time we add this up over the next 7 years, we're going to probably knock off, on average, another 2 years off this number, just by picking up extra amounts of money just from the budget alone. What we found out over the years is this: when people track their budget, they tend to spend less because they're tracking their budget and they know that if they spend any more money, they have to tell the program, which is going to take away from their interest savings. So they start asking themselves more and more and more, is this a want to or is this a need to? And so, Don, how can people take this program and live a great life? Let me show you this. Let me show you. Do you see where it's called unitemized budget? They put in an extra $1,300 to spend any way they want. And they're still out of debt in 7.7 years. Look at that. Now, what if they decide, you know what, $1,300 a month, we're not even coming close. We're not even coming close to that. We're spending about $1,000 a month on fun and doing some other things. So they're going into the program and said, listen, let's redo this. Let's go into the budget. Let's take this money, and we're not spending $1,300 a month. We're only spending about $1,000. Okay? Now watch this. They're supposed to be out of debt in 7.7 years. All right? There it is, 7.7 years, and saving $179,000. All right? And that's because they put into the program, we want to spend $1,300 a month. That's over $13,000 a year just on some fun. Watch this. When they say, it's only $1,000 a month, because that's what we're averaging. Let's save that into the program instead. And now now they're out of debt in 6.9 years. Now they're going to save $185,948. Folks, there is not another program on the planet that does this. And then we'll turn around and give you exact instructions on how much money to pay. Now the program says, based on that, you can now place, they're not making any more money. They're not making any more money, but the program says on 1/7, now put $3,770 on the debt. Because you told the program over the next 7 years, you're not going to be spending $1,300 a month. You're only going to be spending $1,000 per month. There's only one program on the planet that does that. Only one. And we're proud to have it here at the P.I.L.L Method. Any questions, any comments? Let me check the back channel here. Nope, no new questions. Let me see if anybody raised their hand to come up to the stage. Nope, nobody raised their hand. All right, let's move on here. I have, Amanda says, oh, that's awesome. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Folks, if you're getting anything out of this, put a number 9 in the chat. Put a number 9 in the comments online. If you're getting any new information, if you're getting great information here that you believe no one else can give you, put a number 9 in the chat right now. Number 9, let's see it. That gives me energy. So let's hear from, while I take a little break, since nobody's asking questions, let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas one more time. Let's get his stuff queued up. Let's listen to him talk about the P.I.L.L Method while I get a drink of water. Doctor, come on.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
There you go, folks. Now, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the fact that you may want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt-free so you could be stress-free and mortgage-free and when that's going to happen. How would that make you feel to know the month, day, and year. Let me change this. Let me change this to payoff date. How would it make you feel to know the exact month and day and year you're going to be debt free based on what you're making now? But if you make more, that date will change. If you spend less, that date will change. Making minor adjustments. Do you know some of the minor adjustments that I make? You know, every now and then, I use Verizon for my cell phone. You know what Verizon does? Every now and then they come up with a better plan. Every now and then. They come up with a better plan that costs less money. But guess what Verizon doesn't do? Verizon doesn't tell me when they do that. I got to call and find out. I can get the same service or maybe even more service for less money just by asking a question. I can take those savings and plug it into the program and save several $1,000s because of those savings. Guess what I also can do? You know, my insurance on my house goes up every now and then for my house and my car. So why don't I do a little research and find out, can I get the same coverage or even more coverage for less money? Let me do a little research. Take those savings and plug that into the program monthly. Listen, you saw what just $50 would do one time. What would, if I can put all my savings together, okay? And put in here, I said, oh, put all my savings together and save an additional $200 a month I didn't have to spend on stuff. Watch this. I'm going to take another $200 off that I don't have to spend because I saved it from, I called up the cable company. I called up this company. I called up that company. How can I get the same service for less money? Doesn't hurt to ask. Let's find out. So let me go in here and take my budget. And now I'm spending $200 less because now this is $800. All right. I'm spending $200 less because I asked a few questions. And now, instead of 6.9 years, all right, 6.9 years and 185,000. Let's save that. Oh, 6.4 years. 6.4 years. Look at that. Look at that. Just by asking a few questions, I don't have to make more money. I don't have to take money out of our lifestyle. I just called a few companies and said, can you give me the same service for less money? And then I plugged in the savings into this program and it instantly gives me new instructions. And so now, just because of that, what is my next debt transfer? I can now put over $4,000 on debt because Verizon isn't charging me as much. My home insurance isn't charging me as much. Cable or satellite isn't charging me as much. But I got the same service. But I plugged the savings into this program. No other program can help you to do that. It's not going to, and I'm up to $189,508 in interest savings just because I could do that. All right, folks. Here's what I need to share with you, and then we're going to be done. Every week, someone who has a mortgage, all right? And let me bring this up on the screen. Someone who has a mortgage who's doing this. Let me show you even this commercial example where an investor has mortgages over $2 million, and the bank wants to charge them $1,123,195. Let me make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Oh, that's too big. All right. And they're making a lot of money All right, they're doing well, but they weren't paying attention that the bank wanted them to pay $1,123,195 in interest on their loans. We're going to show them how to pay $231,468. Every week, people ask me, Don, how much do you charge for your program? And they just fixate on what I charge. Folks, those same people signed up for a mortgage that was charging them $1,123,000 or whatever they were going to charge. And they put a big down payment to get it so that they can pay twice for their house. They found out that they're going to pay $1,123,000 or whatever they were going to pay. I'm going to show them how to pay $231,000. And in this case, this real estate investor, we're saving them $891,000 that they wouldn't have saved otherwise. This real estate investor said, where do I write the check? Because this real estate investor learned how to ask two questions, not one. They learned how to ask two questions, not one question. People who are scarcity minded only ask one question: what does it cost? This real estate investor asked two questions: how much does it cost? And what are my benefits? My benefits are $891,000 in interest saved. And I can pay off these commercial buildings not in 21 years, but in 4.9 years. And when I signed the contract, I was okay with paying $1,123,000. I can guarantee you, folks, I didn't charge them $1 million. Nowhere near that. Not even 10% of that. So this real estate investor found out that it was much better to give our company just a small fraction of the $891,000 they had contracted to pay the bank that they were totally satisfied with. And said, yeah, we'll give you a piece of that, Don. But it doesn't stop there. Do you think once he's paid off those two commercial buildings, he's going to stop there? He's going to buy more commercial buildings and add it to the same program, and he only paid for it once. Ladies and gentlemen, if that doesn't help you to see why we do what we do, why we are here, why this is not the most powerful debt reduction, wealth building, money management system on the planet, we should have answered the question. We should have answered the question, Don, we have your videos, we have your book. Why do we need your program? Because it's going to save you the most amount of money that you possibly can make, that you could possibly save. And then we're going to turn around and work with you and take the interest savings. And for this particular client, take the interest savings and show him how he can turn it into, over the next 17 years, into $9,314,909. With the P.I.L.L method, we'll use your 17 years and start building wealth. $9 million extra dollars from interest you're no longer giving to the bank. Folks, that should answer the question to anybody who asks, Don, we have your videos. Why do we need your program? This is why. I want to thank everybody for showing up today. If you have any questions, this is the time to do it, because we're getting ready to get out of here. We're going to be back here. I see a bunch of number 9s in the chat. Listen, if you believe right now, if you believe that you got good information, and the question has been answered. Why do we need the program? If that question has been answered, put a number 8 in the chat. Put a number 8 in the chat. I want to see number 8s before we go. Put a number 8 in the chat if you believe the question has been answered. I want to thank everyone for showing up today. We're going to be right back here on Sunday with a brand new example, a brand new show, some great information, and another installment of how to pay off mortgages in 7 years. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And I want to share with you right now that if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and save the maximum amount of interest you could possibly save, and take those interest savings and turn it into, let's say, an extra $1 million, then get your savings and earnings report today. Go to the link above, all right? Go to the link above and go to ice10k.com. Go to ice10k.com and then get your savings and earnings report. Get it. Listen, what could it hurt? Get your savings and earnings report. Find out the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you can save. And then we'll show you on this line what your interest savings will mean to you over time. And folks, this is at 1% return on this guy's money. At 1% return on the money, turning the interest that he would have paid into over $9 million. What will it mean to you? What will it mean to you to save that kind of money? And folks, follow the instructions and do that. And if you have been sufficiently inspired, if we have lit a fire under you, and you not only want to do this for yourself, but you want to teach this to others, you want to help other people, then become a P.I.L.L Method affiliate, and you can become a P.I.L.L Method affiliate for free. Go to the same card and and then fill out the affiliate link. When you fill out the affiliate link, then we'll get that and we'll put you into our system. You have just become an affiliate. How do you help people? Send people who are interested in paying off their debt, saving interest, or whatever they want to do. They're tired of the status quo. Send them to the YouTube channel and let them watch our videos. Follow up with them within 48 hours. And then ask them, do they want to know more? And if they do, fill out the second button that will refer them. Give us their name, their email, their phone number, and fill in a little information about them. When's the best time to call and that sort of thing. And anything you feel that is pertinent for us to know. Once they become a client, then we will pay you at least $300. Some of you will send in enough so that we can pay you $1,000 per new client. So what do we need to qualify for the 300? Every referral you send us has to have at least $100,000 in debt and at least one mortgage. There it is. At least $100,000 in debt and at least one mortgage. And you qualify, if they become a client, you qualify for the $300. Anywhere from $300 to $1,000. All right. I want to thank everybody for being here. We're going to say goodbye to everyone. And we're going to listen to Dr. Eric Thomas one more time. And then we're going to shut down our program for today. And we will see you back here on Sunday. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. And I trust and pray that we have answered this question for you. Dr. Eric Thomas, take us out.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, We didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.